everybody, Geraldine Rose here. I swear I wreck cards just so I have to figure ways out to fix them. This was for a new Tags and Techniques hop. If you want to join, is put on by Crafty Engineer and Touch of Magic. I was trying to race Touch of Magic, Kim. It makes sense, though, that she beat me because my cards even take 3 to 4 times as long as everybody else. So this is a Tags and Techniques where each month we are going to be trying out a new technique, something that may be new to us or something that might be old. I was trying it out and it was ink smooshing this time with a homemade dauber. I used my paper rose stitch tags. You can see I'm just creating a bunch here because we've already got the schedule going forward for several months and I wanted to have some in place. There's my unicorn pen, everybody. Yes, I have a unicorn pen. Anyway, our printer doesn't work, so I just was writing out the instructions on the back. And it's just a reference for you that when your mojo's low, to go in and try out new stuff, revisit techniques to kind of reignite, oh, I could do this with that or that with this. I jammed in 2 old pieces of packaging from when you get your stamps inside another one, and that's what I'm using as my dauber. I'm trying it out here. I think I started getting a little bit frustrated for me because I'm used to either doing it directly from the mat or with using just one piece of acetate that you can see through. I started flipping it over a lot to see where my ink placement was on the other side. Moving forward though, I grabbed out the Sizzix Tim Holtz fall foliage set. I cut out 3 leaf dies out of that, the larger ones in kind of a swirl cascade coming around. And I thought I would use them as a stencil and ink smoosh through them with the lighter colors at the top and coming with the darker colors at the bottom to see if I could try doing a more clean and simple card. Now that as well also does not work out, but we have another hop coming up where it's something that we're supposed to do that's out of our comfort zone. So I'm going to be attempting a clean and simple card. Yeah, we're going to see how that happens because you know me, I'm going to want to add stuff to it. But you can see what I've done is I've just smooshed down the ink, spritzed it with a bit of water, and I'm taking this dauber, and you can see as I'm going along, I'm getting more aggressive because I'm just pounding that thing in there, and I can tell, okay, this is frustrating me for what I like to do. I think because I couldn't really see what I was doing with it. But that's the whole point of this technique hop. You're never going to know if you like something unless you try it out, eh? It looks good when I pulled the stencil off. Then I was like, okay, well, maybe I just need to put it in embossing powder. So I re-put the stencil, homemade stencil, back over top, and I daubed some Versamark on. Got out the chunky glitter embossing powder, tapped it from behind. I'm going to heat it from behind with this after I scrape off a couple of spots on that one leaf because I thought it had just a little bit too much on. So it's another use for your nails. I know I'm not supposed to use them as tools, but I do. And here we are, just heating it, coming around to the front, and you can see the sunlight, the brief spot of sunlight that we got here on the mountain, peeking through the room and wrecking my lighting. Now, one of the reasons why I craft is to keep my mind young. It likes puzzles. So it's always looking for more stuff to add on. I grabbed the leaf die cuts out of the garbage and placed them back over what I had stenciled. And I put some background noise in there with a bunch of fall stamps in a very light beige. And then I brought in around the edges the close to my heart, Autumn Barn, some of the leaves from it. So on the inside, I'm doing the same thing. I created a stencil from one of the die cuts, just inking around the edges first so that it's got a better demarcation line. And I mean, look at it's like a squirrel trying to tap off fleas or something. Blah, 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 just from the speed that I've got the video playing. Anyways, I did the same thing. I smooshed through the stencil, then came back in with my sentiments for the inside of the card. Autumn is my husband and I's favorite season. We love going out for walks at this time of year. And luckily, I'm getting a little bit better after the whole heart thing in January. Couldn't resist using the autumn colors, though. Was doing them in lines this time. Reds with the oranges and the yellows. I did bring in pigment ink there, and I'm using it just on the smaller sentiment right at the bottom to add shimmer just to that one effect. Did the same thing with the leaves around the outside edges. Tapped off some of it so that they wouldn't be quite as bright. Then I thought, well, okay, I'll use that same beige that I had used for the background noise around the outside edges. Didn't really show up. Got out the Simon Says stamp, Windswept Leaves, put it in there, so I had spritzed the back with a little bit of water so that it wouldn't crack when it was going through with the embossing folder. And beautiful. Oh, wonderful, wonderful folder, guys. Then I thought, okay, well, I'll fix around the edges, and I brought in, I think it was Vintage Photo, and because that was a distress oxide, I'm giving a little bit of water splatters to distress it, using paper towel to bring that up. I'm going to put the panel down on the front. I used a wee bit of ultra sticky tape, and then, of course, the typical Tombow glue. For the sentiment, I wanted something bold for the front. Picket fence, hello there. Have glitter for the background, and I went back to my other old style of ink smooshing. Hey, but it's a good control for the experiment, right? I'm using 3 different tones of yellows, and I did 2 because I knew I needed one for a shadow anyways, and I was going to pick whichever one of the 2 turned out the best. This is the normal way where you smoosh your ink down, give it a spritz of water. Some people will run a pen or their finger through it to get it to break up a little bit more. I just typically go straight for slapping the paper in there in spots and getting the marks and drying it in between, because that's where you get the movement with your spots on there. So I'm picking here which of the 2 I like the best. Went for the splotch at 81. That's getting glued down on top of the other shadow layer, and then the gold glitter that's in the back with slightly offset. Now I have 2 Versamarks. Don't worry, my good Versamark is not this grody bad. This is the one that I use for directly mushing in things that I know are going to contaminate that Versamark pad. So I've smushed it in with some Versamark. I've put the matte powder over top of it. And if you heat emboss it really quick, you can flip it back into your powder and it will pick it up. And then you don't need to use Versamark again for the other layers. So now that I've got that like stacked up a little bit with the matte powder, which adds a really cool kind of velvety effect to it, I'm going to put her down on the front. We have got 3 of the little yellow hearts for the front that is out of the leftover yellow paper, and I had 2 of the bigger yellow hearts for the back, so I'm just going to tuck those in as well too, because we've got like a windswept movement, a swirl going on the front, and in the back it's kind of like a swoop that comes through, like a wind quarter that you've got in your backyard, which we happen to have because, as I said, we're on a hill. So I'm doing my typical Nouveau jewel drops here. In yellows, oranges, and red tones, swirling them through. I let them dry a bit. Brought in some mica sprays. I thought I could just tap it just on the leaves and everything was fine. It's still fine. Do you see that it's still fine? It's still fine here, isn't it? Yes. Oh, it's looking okay. But oh, whoops. I went and wrecked it. So I tried fixing it with some more splatters. Didn't work. So I brought in Kuretake Gold Mica ink. All right. I stupidly ruined it again. I put a couple of mica splatters and these ones over splattered. So then I went back in and tapped some more around the leaves themselves, hoping that that would fix it. But they didn't splatter in the typical circle. And that might have been because of the embossing, or it might have been because of the ink that is within that mica spray that stains out first and leaves the micas sitting in a circle in the middle. And if I bring that closer, maybe you can see that. So I've got a couple of choices for fixing this. I do have that Tim Holtz leaf set that has some smaller matching leaves on each of these, which we can go in and do again and use the ink smooshing tool, place them in the general area, sort of over top. The other thing is that the colors from the ink smooshing, they do kind of fade into the background a wee bit. So the leaves over top might help. The other choice I've got is taking a water pen and trying to bleed these guys out a little bit more. So we'll see what we can do to recover this card. Because otherwise it's going to be, hey, watch Jared ruin a second card within 1 week, right? Alrighty. I'll see what I come back with, guys. So since we know that we totally missed the clean and simple scoop, we're going to go whole hog on the mixed media. So we are spreading out those mica spots. We cut out some more leaf die cuts from that Tim Holtz Sizzix fall foliage set. And we're going to start smooshing them again. We're going to try the dauber again, get some more empirical evidence here to find out for certain if we do or do not like this. And that's what I'm doing. Start out with your lightest colors and move on through. We are using the same kind of lighter colors up at the top. And again, we're mimicking that swirl through, placing those down. Then I thought, okay, well, I still need a touch more green in there. So I got out the Alt New Hello and Hugs and the Spellbinders A Little Hello, the oval die sets. Simon Says Stampa's got a new one out now too in the latest release. And I cut out a sentiment for the middle, sub-sentiment. And I got one of the extras on the one side that I've cut so that I don't have to put foam there, but it stacks it up enough so that it's all at the same level. T-square ruler to make certain that that one is definitely square. On the back, we'll throw down a custom stamp. And, that is Pink Fresh Studios. That is one of the ombre drops. And finally, that's the finished card, everybody. Oh my goodness. So trial and error. But it's through all these mistakes that we learn, right? You all go out, get some crafting done in your rooms too. Just make a mess. Who cares what it turns out like? Everybody will be happy getting a card. Be that change we want to see in our world. Thanks for subbing and liking and watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.